November's gymnastics strength integration is quite simple, so I'm just going through just the basic back lever to front lever to compression hold. You can add in the other muscle up, the meat hooks and the arch as well, but just to take it back a little bit from the other ones, the previous months, is just to make it really basic so that way you can really get a feeling of joining the movements together, but also if a lot of you are coaches as well, to have some, kind of a useful way to teach it to clients as well, and I find has been quite helpful to people so they can really enjoy it and get into it and not have it feel like there's too many moving parts and it's a bit hectic. So with that, just starting in a nice forward bend. Obviously some people aren't going to be able to get as deep, you can bend the legs, and then from there coming out into that back lever position, getting a nice pause there, you can stay active there, coming down, getting that forward fold, let the feet slide if they need to. We want to pull up. Some people might need to do a little bit of a jump there, going into that nice tuck, and depending on how strong you are, will determine how far you can come down here, and then coming back, going into a tuck back lever, like that, and then coming down, trying to get that nice compression lowering. So try to hold it as tight as you can. Let the butt come down so it's nice and smooth. You can obviously make the rings higher, make it heavier, but just trying to get nice control for a good 30-second amount of time under tension on the shoulder. Then for the push variation, so on the floor, just keeping this one nice and simple as well. So not forcing any of the positions. So you might start here in that nice down dog position and just work on going from here into that planche. So locking out, locking the elbows, shrugging up, pausing there, pushing back into that back, into the down dog position but shrugged up, walking up into a pike. Getting that one, doesn't matter how high, doesn't matter if you don't need to bend the legs or whatever, but try and lock the elbows out and shrug up. And then from there, squatting down, reaching the hands back, and then driving the hips up in that manner position, and leaning back. Flip that through, nice and simple. And then from there, going into the side splits. So nice and basic, coming down, getting a nice pause there. Drop the arms back to neutral. Come down, nice pause there. And then from here, coming into that nice lunge position, opening up that back hip, shrugging up, back to neutral, turn that heel, turn that heel. Back to neutral, and then a nice forward pancake, straight spine, straight back, and then if you want you can round it out. So quite simple options, but effective, especially when you're teaching groups. And then if you teach that kind of base version, then you can go around and layer in, like say if I've got a group of 10 people or something and all start with that, then you can walk around and just add some harder elements into it, and it's much easier to do that than to teach something really advanced and then have most of the room confused as to what they're supposed to be doing. That tends to work a little bit better, but everyone's different, and then you get to know the clients that you're coaching better, so you'll get to know what they're kind of after. And if it's just for yourself, working on the basics and getting really good time under tension and controlling those different positions and good body awareness is only going to help long term. And some days you don't fill up for a heavier workout, but it's always good to train and get that mobility from it and keep everything online, especially if you're training like I do every day. Some days I just don't want to train hard, I don't need to train hard, and it's actually counterproductive for me to train hard. So I'm better off just going through it, activating, and then I feel good after, I feel good for the rest of the day. And it's kept everything online as opposed to stopping, because it's a slippery slope for a lot of people when they're conditioning their body. They get really fired up and they just go through these waves of being really excited and proactive about their training, and then go through a wave where they're kind of disconnected from it and it's like all or nothing. Whereas what you've got to do is be consistent. So listening to your body on the day and adjusting the training accordingly to that allows you to turn up every day, because you go, okay, you don't have to mentally beat yourself up or beat yourself into a workout and then physically beat yourself up with the workout. So it just becomes a lot more enjoyable, and you're just like, I'm always going to use it to heal my tissues, align my tissues. I've got so many, little things that I'm working on. So even if I'm feeling off, I can work on those, and it's proactive and it's going towards what my goals are, as opposed to just like, not training at all and then kind of disconnecting from it, and then you start to decondition and things go backward. Or the opposite, which is just as bad. People being so fixated and attached to their goals that they go in and train as hard as they can anyway, even though they've got niggles and things that they actually make worse from the workout. So they end up feeling even worse the next day. So now they're even further from their goals. So both of those approaches are dysfunctional. And what you're always trying to learn, and what I'm trying to teach people, is how to look after themselves in every workout. How to do what you need to do on the day, and that's the whole point of the massage ball, foam roller, mobility routine, is to get a feel for your body and work with it. And sometimes too, you just need the headspace to get away from the workout altogether for a day, where you might just do something totally different, do a bit of a stretch, or get outside, go for a walk, whatever, just break it up, go do a yoga class or something just different, just to clear your head. But usually that only happens when you've been overly attached and you've been beating yourself up in the gym. So you do need a break, because you're out of control. But if you really listen to your body and work with your body, you'll do amazing things. And then always, if it isn't responding and you just can't seem to make any progress, look at the other areas of your life. Look at your sleep, look at your nutrition, look at your hydration, look at your relationships with significant other or friends, family, your work, all of these things, and and work on what you can. Don't beat yourself up about what you feel kind of trapped in. And some things just take a long time to transition to a better place. So you can't kind of just identify it and then go, okay, I'm going to change it all today. It's a step-by-step process, and it's the same as your body. It's always following, and there's always this huge lag between where your mind is and where your body is physically. So you've got to maintain that kind of mental outlook and approach long enough for the physical body to catch up to your mind, and it's the same in all areas of your life. So stay disciplined in a good way, and look after yourself.